Justin White, driver of the number 2 C.O.P.S Chevy from Scotland.
Justin Lumpkin, driver of the number 18 Millie's Restaurant and Catering Toyota Tundra, Corinth, Mississippi.
Taylor Peacock, driver of the number 81 Upfront Motorsports Ford, Fowler, Indiana.
Ed Osborne, driver of the number 42 VFP Chevy Silverado, Team Mission 1 Esports, racing out of Jonesville, Virginia.
Robert Richards, driver of the 48 Chevy Silverado, Mission 1 Esports, Gastonia, North Carolina.
Michael McKinnon, driver of the number 13 Warrior Racing Esports Chevrolet, Pleasant Hill, Illinois.
I'm Chris Cinnamon, driver of the number 3 Upfront Motorsports Ford. Here's my crew chief and spotter, Turbo, from Fort McMurray, Alberta.
Stephen Thomas, the River, Oakview, West Virginia, driver of the number 23 Jersey Smoke, Sickwood Motorsports, Toyota.
Kyle Hess, driver of the number 86 E-Cycle for Autism, Chevy Silverado for BP Racing for Autism, out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Adam Newton, 82 DSR Electric Toyota from Hillsborough, North Carolina.
Jeff Merck, driver of the number 60 Over the Top Designs Ford F-150 from Punta Gorda, Florida.
Joseph Doucette, driver of the number 16 NRE Power Systems Chevrolet from Oakland, Maine.
Keith Bradley, driver of the number 29 Nazareth 360 Racing Network Indy Race Parts Toyota, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Live from the virtual Dover, Delaware at Dover International Speedway, the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series brings you tonight's finale for the Fast 14 at the Hoopties Garage 150. My name's Tyler Detmer, lead here with Brady LaBeouf in the booth with me. Brady, it's a hard, fast, slick 1 mile concrete surface here in Dover, and these drivers are going to have their hands full as we're going to be racing into the midday sun.
Oh, absolutely, Tyler. You know, last week, Michigan, this week, Dover. I mean, what a round, right? Dover being a cutoff race. You know, these guys are going to be going for it. 1 mile track, very tight, very narrow around this 1 mile track. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get through the field. I think it's going to be hard to pass tonight. They're racing in the morning conditions, but nevertheless, I think they're going to put on a great show for us.
Yeah, as we look here at the playoff grid and the Fast 14, the playoff grid, actually, there's a bit of a difference here in real life versus what we have on the screen. And that big difference is Ashley Dodson picking up a 25-point penalty, Brady, for a retaliatory wreck under caution last week against Raul Meza, who's not even in the playoffs. Brady, that drops him from +7 as shown on the screen all the way down to -18. And that cutoff line slides down. Taylor Peacock actually +3. But Peacock tonight has his own challenges, Brady, as he has to start from the rear of the field due to an EOL he caused last week, along with Ashley Dodson. So you have a couple of drivers working their way from the back to the front that need to get points and fast.
Yeah, you know, Ashley in that 7 seed right there, dropping all the way down to the 14th seed for this Fast 14 round cutoff race. I mean, we're going to the Elite 10 where the playoff points reset, puts him and Taylor Peacock in a hole. stage points are so huge tonight, Tyler. So those guys, not qualifying, I'm not sure the number of drivers we have in the field so far. I'm sure it's going to be in the mid 20s, maybe low 30s. But it's going to be so hard to get through the field, in my opinion. I don't think either driver gets stage 1 points. So they're going to have to maybe put themselves in a win or nothing situation early on.
Yeah, with the Hoopties Garage 150, we'll see 150 laps around this fast 1 mile concrete oval. And that's going to be a big difference here. Most of the time we race on asphalt in NASCAR type tracks. Dover, like Bristol, concrete surface. It's going to handle the slickness and the rubber being laid down significantly more different, I would say, Brady, than what we saw last week at Michigan. As we look now, qualifying has finished up here. We're going to look here at our starting grid. Starting off on the pole, Jeff Merck continues his terror of a season. He's essentially locked in already to the next round. He's your pole sitter. To his outside, Adam Newton. Adam with a strong stage 1. We could probably consider him safe. Then in row number 2, you got Justin Lumpkin, another playoff driver. He comes into this race +9. Strong stage performances early on could lock him in as well. Starting 4th, Robbie Richards was +7. Now he's +10 thanks to that penalty to Ashley Dodson. Look for him to try and score a lot of points early on. Joey Doucette came into this essentially locked in. He gets any stage points, I think, in the first stage, Brady. Put Joey Doucette into the fast 10 here. Keith Bradley starting row number 6, already essentially moving on to the next round. Kyle Hess in 7th. He's a driver to look out for. He's now -3. Peacock starts in the back. Dodson starts in the back. Hess can pick up some of those points and already put himself in after stage number 1. Stephen Thomas starting 8th, playoff driver. He's plus, I want to say, about 16 now after the point change. And then Michael McKinnon, another driver on the outside looking in, -10, starting 9th. He can get some points and put himself in. And then a non-playoff driver, Phil Papp, is starting in the 10th position. Brady, if you want to roll on through the rest of this.
Yeah, I mean, another driver right there in this top 14, Justin White, was in the 12th hole. Then you got Jeff Sickles. These guys, Constellation playoff guys, they're still fighting for a lot of money. Jeff Sickles is one of those guys. Chris Blanchard, last week's winner, Michigan International Speedway, he's kicking off at 14th. James Morris, 15th. Huck Wigginton in that C.O.P.S scheme. I believe he has a new sponsor this week. Store-Based Comics is coming on board for that Highline Racing machine in that 16th spot. Brandon Bullock missed last week, but he's back again at Dover, 17th. Ed Osborne, 18th. Ed's under the weather for Mission 1 Esports, but he's going to try to give it a go. Raul Meza, one of those other guys that got knocked off in the top 20 playoff drivers. But they're still fighting for that 7th spot, Tyler, which, it gets paid money also. So he's starting off 19th. Taylor Peacock, as we just talked about, Ashley Dodson, 20th, 21st. Adam Johnson also got a penalty in EOL last week. So these 3 drivers, 20th, 21st, and 22nd, all EOLs, and no qualifying this week. So all 3 drivers are going to be putting, a bit behind the 8 ball, you'll say, trying to get up through this field. So,
yeah, and I want to take a quick moment. Of the 4 drivers who received EOLs, 3 are making starts tonight. The lone driver not here tonight, Jonathan Munda. His EOL will carry over to next week. Real quick, though, Ed Osborne, you mentioned he's racing under the weather. He's -3 to the cut line tonight for Mission 1 Esports. He needs a big race tonight early on. Has an advantage with Peacock and Dodson starting in the back, but he's only an 18th. Didn't have a great qualifying session. He needs to move forward early on. Also, note, Justin White comes into tonight +5. Keep an eye on that number 2 truck. He might want to get some stage points here early on, especially with Kyle Hess and Michael McKinnon out-qualifying him. Stage number 1, only 30 laps. We're coming to green this time by as the pace truck is off on pit road. This time by, Jeff Merck's going to lead the field of green with Adam Newton in the front row. The green flag is out through the Geico restart zone. We are underway here in the Hoopties Garage, 150 at Dover. Brady, it's very nerve-wracking these first few laps as you see the front row get single file, but everyone else 2 wide throughout the field. Coming off of 2 and 4 are such dangerous places here, especially when you're 2 wide at Dover.
Absolutely. It's a fast track, and you got to take care of your equipment. Saving that right front tire is so underrated here because that right there, that turn 4 wall comes up fast. And if you get tight coming off right there, it's going to smack you right in the face so fast. So I'm definitely going to be lookout for that, as we come to about, 15, 20, 25 laps into this run. You're going to see, who comes to the front and who falls off a lot. Speaking of which, Robbie Richards, that's the guy that I'm watching tonight. He's had a couple of seasons that were kind of mediocre. I'm looking for him to get back into championship form. We've seen him in the final before, so I'm looking for him to be a final six driver at the end.
Yeah, well, Brady, you mentioned Taylor Peacock, Ashley Dodson. You don't see getting stage points here early on. Taylor Peacock already up to the 13th position. He's looking for more, make it in the 12th position, moving quickly through the field here early on. Meanwhile, though, Ashley Dodson not having as much success moving through the field. He's still back in 21st, but Peacock already on the back door of some of his points competitors in Justin White, Michael McKinnon, and Kyle S. Those guys got to get moving here unless they wanted to be able to take advantage of that advantage they had against Peacock here early on. But right now, it has not played out that way. Pretty much single file throughout the field. Oh, that was really close there by the Robbie Richards 48 truck off of 4, just barely keeping it off the wall.
Absolutely. And that kind of goes hand in hand with what you talked about earlier with Taylor Peacock, coming up through the field. Is he wearing his stuff out early on, or is he going to be able to maintain about 20, 25 laps after? It's going to be great to see. But right now, just single file. I think everybody's just trying to figure everything out right now, Tyler. I think they want to just kind of get through this. It's that time of the year where it's a cutoff race. Hey, let's just take it easy, see how this race goes. And I don't really see anybody being too overly aggressive this early in the run.
Yeah, I see Taylor Peacock to the inside of Justin White here in 3 and 4. If we go back throughout the field, Ed Osborne takes advantage. He's going to go to the high side off of 4. We got now Ed Osborne, Justin White side by side down the front straightaway. 2, 1, and 2 they go. Osborne to the high side, White to the bottom. Peacock tried to make a move on White, did not pay off, and Osborne was allowed to take advantage. At Osborne now your biggest mover up to 11th, just over Justin White. They're still side by side as they enter 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's working that outside lane, and he's making progress. Look at him. He's going to be on the outside quarter panel of Michael McKinnon. Move him down to the inside lane. If Ed can make that outside work, Taylor Peacock's going to follow him along with Chris Blanchard. That's what you need to do. You need to make lanes work. Make them come in so that you can make passes around here. You don't want to run not side by side. As we see Justin White get loose right there, you don't want to run single file because then you're not going to move forward. So great job by Ed, making different lanes work.
Yeah, Ed Osborne made the lane work. Taylor Peacock said, I'm going to follow you through. And now you got Taylor Peacock to the inside of Phil Pappas. Get Taylor Peacock inside the top 10 for stages. I will say, though, Brady, that outside lane is dangerous here later in a run as that truck gets tighter because, like we said earlier in the pre-race, that wall comes quick off of 2 and 4. I don't know if I want to be on the outside. You see Chris Blanchard hits the wall there on the front straightaway there.
Yeah, we've seen him and James Morris. I don't know if they got into it a little bit. Maybe we'll have to see that a little bit. But, these two all season long have gotten into it each other. I don't know if that was another product of them just racing hard early on in the run, but bad blood between those two guys.
Now you got Osborne and Peacock side by side for the 9th and 10th position. Peacock has the advantage of Justin White right behind this group. C.O.P.S is behind this group. Those 2 blue truck schemes really really mess with me sometimes, Brady. But give Peacock the position, move him up to 9th.
Absolutely, and you see Adam Newton right here. He's not going to want to be riding behind Jeff Merrick right here too much longer. He's kind of peeking out, trying to get some air on that nose. You don't want to run and just directly behind the tailgate and get tight coming off the corner, but he's definitely, rotating in the middle a lot better coming off the corner and getting some runs. I'm going to look for him to challenge Jeff for that lead here soon.
Top 14 within 2 seconds, Brady. They're all in a line. And as you look there, Richards to the inside of Lumpkin.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, Tyler, I'm kind of curious, though, of what Ashley Dodson's doing back in the 21st. It's not like him
to the
be
inside,
back there.
battle for the lead. Rick, sorry to interrupt, but we got some excitement out the front of the field. I agree with your Dodson comment. He's just doing nothing right now. Wondering if maybe he's not going to pit at the end of stage 1. That would be my only guess, Brady. But right now, side by side, Newton, close there off of 4. They're going to go into 1 and 2. Newton's going to get back in line, but further back, we also have Taylor Peacock to the inside of Kyle Hess for the 8th position.
Yeah, so hard to make that pass right there. He's going to try to give it another go here soon. Man, so tight to, whenever somebody doors you that hard and you get loose, it's just so hard to make that pass. As we see Ed Osborne and this group back at it again. Kyle Hess right there. Looks like they're battling for that 10th position. Ed Osborne right here. Looks like 8, 9, 10, 11th right here. Taylor Peacock moving up through the field, continuing, passing Stephen Thomas right here, that 23 machine.
I just want to point out, generally these races get very spaced out, especially at Dover, where it's a track that's really abrasive on tires. We're racing as the track's going to get hotter continuously. But 1st through 20th are within 3 seconds of each other right now, Brady. They are all bunched up in a field. If something happens at the front of this field, we're going to be in a lot of trouble and have a lot of wrecked trucks. So hopefully these drivers keep it clean for another 15 laps. We have halfway through stage number 1 here in the Hoopties Garage 150 with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. It's the final race of the Fast 14, Brady. And Taylor Peacock, we thought, was in big trouble as we see Ed Osborne hit the wall of 4. We thought Peacock was in trouble because of that EOL. He seems to be perfectly fine right now.
Absolutely. And a little, I don't know if that's that. I know that's James Morris right there. Not sure exactly what happened. He's off the pace, losing a ton of spots. Must have gotten into the wall coming off a 4 and just kind of brought it down to the inside. He's going to try to get it back going and everything. Doesn't look like he has too much damage, but man, they're just all bottled up right here. Nowhere's to go, it seems like. They're just battling left and right. Chris Blanchard on the inside of Ed Osborne right here. They continue to battle for outside top 10 spots right here.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we were so bunched up. Now there seems to be a bit of a separation. The top 9 have pulled away. Justin White kind of being left by himself. Phil Pappas by himself. Chris Blanchard holding up a field of very hungry drivers. He's had some struggles early on here, Brady. Coming up with about 12 to go in the stage. You see another driver duck it to the bottom. That's Ed Osborne looking at. That's Brandon Bullock getting by him. Meanwhile, James Morris is in the Hornet's nest here. He's got trucks side by side right in front of him. That's Osborne and Bullock. Not much happening at the front. All single file. The top 8 have kind of calmed down. Peacock's no longer making passes, although he's coming under some pressure from Kyle Hess.
Yeah, absolutely. As we continue to see this battle right here of James Morris and Ed Osborne, looks like, he's going to dive it in right there and try to make a pass, and Ed's going to give him the spot and just get in behind him. As we see Michael McKinnon right here trying to get back around Chris Blanchard. I believe that's for the 11th spot, 12th spot. Give it to Michael McKinnon. Chris Blanchard's under fire by Zach Hartwick for that 12th position, 13th position, I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, side by side, back up inside the top 10. Kyle Hess back to the inside of Taylor Peacock. Maybe we're seeing the damage done to those right side tires of Taylor Peacock for driving so aggressively those first 15 laps. He now has Justin White to his inside in 3 and 4. Taylor Peacock slowly losing ground here near the end of the stage. Will he fall outside the top 10? It's possible. Phil Pappas is only a second behind.
Yeah, we'll start to see. Hopefully Taylor can hold on, because I mean he's proven me wrong right here, Tyler. If he can get some stage points, I did not see this coming out of Taylor, but I like it. I like to see him being aggressive early on and making a run. But it looks like Justin White's going to. Ooh, that's very tight right there, Tyler. Trying to get underneath him and make that pass.
Yeah, White and Pappas have the fresher tires. Pappas looking to the inside of White behind this. Almost got to him near 1 and 2, but they're going to run single file. But now Justin White going to try and get the run down the back straightaway here at Dover. The thing about Dover, Brady, it's hard to explain to the viewers who don't run iRacing or who aren't as familiar with the track, is it feels like as soon as you get off the corner, you're already at the next corner. It's such a fast, mild track here, and you're just always on your toes throughout the lap.
Absolutely. The rhythm that it takes to get around here, it almost kind of plays into a bigger Martinsville, just double in size, the way I compare it. And, it's tricky how you got to kind of like let the truck maybe kind of float through the corners to keep your momentum up, like you're seeing Justin White, Taylor Peacock do right there, as Phil Pappas is going to go underneath Justin White, but Justin White's going to try to keep the momentum on the outside. But yeah, it's just I compare it almost to Martinsville just being twice as big.
Yeah, it's a very difficult track. I will say the one thing I would say deviates from Martinsville, you're not as much on the brake here. You're kind of just lifting and changing your lift point throughout the lap here, especially as the stage is winding down. 5 laps to go here in stage number 1. Still out front, Jeff Merck. He's actually pulled over a half a second lead now on Adam Newton. So although we saw that field really tight and bunched up for those first 20 laps, it's starting to space out here a little bit as we're winding down stage number 1. But there is a little bit of a battle there. Yeah, Keith Bradley all over the rear bumper of Joey Doucette. 2 drivers who I think, Brady, we would agree are pretty much locked into the next round at this point.
Absolutely. You're just try to run a clean race at this point. Stay out of trouble. Stay in this, top 5, top 6 kind of area. You'll be fine. But yeah, we were just seeing Ed Osborne right there in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. He's all the way in the back now, about 10, 11 seconds off the pace. So like I said earlier, you gotta kind of maintain your tires and kind of figure out. Hopefully, he'll kind of learn from this first run to see how the tires are wearing off.
Yeah, as finally Ashley Dodson starting to move forward. He's running about 24.6 second laps, 24.9 second laps the last time, but he's been running similar lap times to the top 6, I would say, the last few laps. Maybe just ultra conservative here early on. Pit road is closed. 2 laps to go in stage number 1. Brady, real quick before we get to the end of stage. 4 sets of tires for the drivers tonight, 75% fuel capacity. That equates to about a fuel window of about 50 laps based on my conversations with the driver, Keith Bradley, and Joey Doucette earlier on today in practice. So keep an eye out for that here. I don't know if Ashley thinks he cannot pit here. I think he still has to pit due to the fuel concerns, but maybe he goes no tires as we see Keith Bradley make a move on Joey Doucette in the last lap of stage number 1.
Absolutely, side by side. There, right there, Joey comes on down. But no, I mean, they're keeping it very clean. We're going to see. It's going to be a battle to the line, and we'll see if Joey can make some headway on that outside, or if Keith's going to be able to get on. It looks like Keith almost clears him right here. He will, and he'll get that 5th spot right there in stage. And we'll have to look at the stage results. I'm looking for, Taylor Peacock gets 10th right there. So 1 stage point for Taylor Peacock.
More than we expected. Kyle Hess, though, will finish 8th in the stage, give him 3 stage points. That's pretty important for his cut line battle. Pappas stealing points away from playoff drivers. He will be 9th in the stage. But Peacock coming in 10th in the stage. I mean, pretty impressive run there, Brady, starting back in the 21st position.
Absolutely. And, we talked about the ones that may not be locked in, or, they just feel a little bit better being above the cut line. All getting stage points. Stephen Thomas, Joey Doucette, Keith Bradley, Robbie Richards, Adam Newton, and Jeff Burke. They all pretty safe, as far as we would think points-wise. So all getting great stage points in that first stage. So hopefully they can keep it up. This is a big thing that is very underrated to me, Tyler. Pit road. Even though it's under caution, you got to get in, get out, get your 4 tires. Do not get caught speeding right here. We've seen it happen in the past. You do not want to get caught speeding around here.
Yeah, as we look towards the point standings, that cut line, that battle actually getting a little bit tighter here. White not scoring any stage points, finishing 11th. He's going to lose 1 point to Peacock, so there's a point separating Peacock and White, and Hess gaining 2 points on Peacock, 3 points on White. That puts Hess only a point behind Peacock now, and a point behind and 2 points behind White. So that playoff cut line, that is the cut line right now, is White, then Peacock, and then outside by 1 point is Kyle Hess. So it's getting competitive here, Brady.
Yeah, and that kind of puts, as we kind of would imagine, it puts Michael McKinnon and Ashley Dodson in a must-win situation, I would imagine. So look for the 13 and the 88 to be in a must-win situation.
Yeah, I would say put Ed Osborne in a must situation as well for remaining drivers beyond the cut line. It all does change, though, when we think about the fact that Chris Cinnamon is not racing tonight, and he will most likely fall outside the top 10. So unfortunately, it looks like Chris Cinnamon's playoff hopes are dashed. Ashley Dodson on the outside looking in. I'm going to have to do some math here, Brady. Actually, because of Chris Cinnamon falling out, as we assume he will, Kyle Hess would be in on points at this point in time. Because if you look at the grid right now, you can move Cinnamon into the red, and you can move Dodson into the red. McKinnon's already in the red, Ed Osborne. So Hess just has to outrun Ed Osborne the rest of the way.
Absolutely. And hope that, somebody like a Michael McKinnon or an Ashley Dodson doesn't win. That would put a strain on, him watching the guys that you just mentioned. But, we'll have to wait and see how this race kind of pans out with Ashley Dodson. He's already up to 12 on this restart. We've seen him run same lap times as the top 6 earlier. So you can imagine that Ashley's probably going to be able to have have an opportunity to get stage points in the second stage. So does that take points away from Justin White? Does it take points away from Taylor Peacock? Just to kind of, name a few. So I would still be fighting for every position that you can if I was still Kyle Hess.
So I'm gonna say something, Brady. Ashley Dodson did not get tires like I expected him not to. So Ashley Dodson on old tires here, he went fuel only, jumps up to the 12th position. I can get you a re-updated points positioning, though, Brady. Justin White, +5. Taylor Peacock, +4. Kyle Hess, +3. Ed Osborne, -3. That is the points at the cut line as they run. Ed Osborne, 3 points out of the Elite 10 at the moment.
It's so tight. It's so tight. And, you know, when we get to these, cutoff races, when we go to the next rounds and whatnot, especially this next round, with the points all being at 0, the playoff points will not roll over to the Elite 10. Everybody will start off at 0, or 2,000 points, I should say. But everybody will be on an even playing field. But we've seen these battles, Tyler, come down to 1 point, 2 points, 0. We had to go to tiebreakers. We've had to go to second-tier tiebreakers just to figure it all out. It gets real tight once you start getting to that cutoff line. And, man, it sucks, but, you know, somebody has to get eliminated. So whoever that might be, we'll see. But as of right now, if you're, Stephen Thomas, Justin Lumpkin, those guys, you're feeling a little bit better as you're seeing those guys struggle towards the back.
Yep, as now the lights are off the pace truck, he's coming down pit road. This time we're going to start stage number 2 here of the Hoopties Garage 150 Dover. Again, the cutoff race for the Fast 14. Brady LaBeouf. Jeff Merck's going to lead the field to the green. Adam Newton second. Justin Lumpkin third. Robbie Richards fourth. Joey Doucette running out your top 5 as we are green flag back racing here at Dover. Brady, a little bit longer second stage here, going to lap 75 this time, so it should be about 40 laps by the time this stage ends. Another 10 laps than what we ran the first stage. Are we expecting to see Taylor Peacock make those same aggressive moves early on, or we think he's going to maybe settle down a little bit?
I don't think Taylor has it in him, just knowing him, racing with him for 3 years. I think he's going to continue to try to just keep climbing up to the front and kind of see how everything plays out. Because, the last thing you want to do is you kind of want to change up your strategy and then, say, man, I wish I would have been up here. So Taylor's one of those guys with no regrets. I'd imagine he's going to run the same strategy he did in stage 1.
Make that new leader. Adam Newton gets by Jeff Merck, and now look to the outside. Justin Lumpkin here is looking for that second position. Merck struggling here early on in this stage. Maybe not as quick on the short term, gaining more speed as the run goes on, but man, being in traffic really does affect the long run speed of these trucks, especially at Dover, Brady.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see that middle to higher lane kind of come in. These drivers are taking advantage of it at the beginning of this run. Like, you've seen Lumpkin, you've seen Robbie Richards, Joey Doucette. Now Keith Bradley's going to use it to get around Merck. It just seems like that middle groove is starting to come in here, get that momentum coming off the corner.
Yeah, Jeff Merck's still trapped on the bottom. He's going to get up right behind Keith Bradley, slide him right in front of Stephen Thomas. Single file now throughout the top 9. Then side by side for 10th, Justin White and Phil Pappas.
Absolutely. We continue to watch that battle take place right here. Phil Pappas, Justin White. Justin White's one of those guys that likes to conserve his tires a little bit, but I think that he is either watching the broadcast maybe while he's driving, or he's listening in and seeing how close the cut line is, and he knows that it's go time.
Meanwhile, Joey Doucette to the inside of Keith Bradley. Bradley to the outside now. Top 3 single file, but they're going to get to the outside here. Keith Bradley past Joey Doucette, and now he's to the outside of Robbie Richards.
Absolutely. It's Sick With It Motorsports versus Mission 1 Esports. We've seen this battle in the team aspect. Mission 1 getting the better of Sick With It so far this season as they lead that team points battle. But yeah, Joey Doucette been sticking around the top 5 all race long. We'll wait to see. I would imagine these guys are not wanting to wait. They want to not let maybe Adam Newton, Justin Lumpkin control this race. They want to get up there and kind of make us a little splash in this deal.
I agree, Brady. And while we're single file here throughout most of the field, we'd like to give a quick moment to take a shout out for our colleague Will Tiller, who is undergoing some health issues at the moment. Could not make it tonight to broadcast, but wishing him the best of luck as he continues his recovery. We know Will would love to be here, but unfortunately he cannot at the moment. So glad to fill in for him tonight, Brady, and wishing him the best in his recovery as Keith Bradley gets second position now over Justin Lumpkin as the field continues to shake up further back in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to our other colleague, Jacob Reeves. He's out. His birthday's tonight, so happy birthday, Jacob. our buddy that announced every Friday night. So hopefully he's having fun celebrating his birthday.
Hopefully he is, and hopefully he's enjoying a good show if he is watching, as we see Keith Bradley now starting to reel in your race leader, Adam Newton. Top 10 back to single file, and we're looking Taylor Peacock in the 10th position, Justin White in 9th, Kyle Hess in 8th. He is currently to the good. We got Michael McKinnock there in 11th, Ed Osborne back in 18th, Ashley Dodson falling all the way back to 19th. As we told you, or as we told the broadcast before, he did not get tires at the end of stage 1. He was trying a different strategy, saving a set of tires later on. He needs to survive this stage and not go a lap down in order for that to work, Brady.
Yeah, and I think he may be safe. I think that he could maybe pull it off. If there is one driver, his name would probably mention as one of them. And I think this is just part of his strategy. Maybe he just thinks that, later on when we get to that final run, maybe there's a late race caution. Maybe, he can add that extra set of tires to his portfolio, make a run for it, and be on an advantage over these other guys.
Yeah, as we continue now on lap 47, going to 75 here in stage number 2. We're going to do a quick run through of the top 10. Right now at the front, that's Adam Newton, that 19 Swim Machine, running well, took the lead on the restart away from Jeff Merck, who dominated the entirety of stage 1. Keith Bradley hitting there in the 2nd position, moving forward here early on in stage 2, settled in though quite nicely. Justin Lumpkin there in the 3rd position, that 18 Machine running in the top 5 all night, along with Robbie Richards, that 48 truck. Just a solid run for Robbie, exactly what he needs here in these playoffs. And then you look at the end of the top 5, that's Joey Doucette in that 16 Machine. Again, pretty much a lock-in for the Elite 10. Going on back to the 6th position, Jeff Merck led every lap in stage 1, has fallen off, though. He is now in the 6th position. He's got company behind him. That's the 7th position of Stephen Thomas. Stephen Thomas, that 23 Machine, running consistently in the top 10 all night. Brady just hasn't had speed for the lead. Kyle Hess, though, back in the 8th position. He has put himself in on points. He's +3 to the good right now. And then behind him, that's that 2 Machine of Justin White. Right now, he is +5 on the cut line. As we look at the end of our top 10, Taylor Peacock +4 to the good. So right now, 8, 9, 10 all on the right side of the cut line and all on the right side of getting stage points, Brady. As the first driver outside of the cut line right now, he's in 11th. That's Michael McKinnon, not getting any stage points at the moment.
Yeah, but everybody else that you mentioned before, doing what they need to do to advance. That is the number one goal. That is the big picture to all of this. Doing what you need to do to advance, as we see Keith Bradley start to put some pressure on our leader, Adam Newton. But back to your point, guys like Robbie Richards, it's great to see him running a little bit more consistent throughout these playoffs. Jeff Merck, as we saw, dropping back. Jeff has done this typically, as I've watched some races. He'll end up, kind of towards the middle. I'd say top 6, top 8. Maybe just trying to figure things out from other drivers. Maybe just trying to save equipment. But nevertheless, I don't want to count him out of this race just yet, Tyler. I think he's just searching for some, just trying to figure out what the other competitors are doing around him.
And it seemed like he kind of let the field go on that restart now as he's to the inside of Joey Doucette for that 5th position. He'll clear him just barely down the back straightaway as they'll enter 3 and 4 under the Ally Tunnel. Joey Doucette's going to look to the bottom here. Can he get there? No, he cannot. Jeff Merck completes the pass, and he's going to start hunting down that 48 truck of Robbie Richards. Again, the only move right now inside the top 10 was that move there Jeff Merck's put on. But Stephen Thomas, the next truck, looking at Joey Doucette. Doucette starting to lose some speed here as the top 3 have kind of separated themselves, although maybe not together at the moment. Adam Newton has a 1/4 of a second lead over Keith Bradley, who has another 1/2 second over Justin Lumpkin, who has, again, another 1/2 second back to him in the 4th position of Robbie Richards. So keep your eye out. We're starting to space out a lot more than we saw in stage 1, Brady.
Absolutely. I would imagine that, they started the morning session, so I would imagine by now we're getting to that closer to that lunchtime aspect of it, maybe, brunch time, as you would say. So the track's getting a little bit hotter, a little bit slicker as that sun beams down on it. So the track's starting to change, I would imagine. And that's going to play into favor for some guys like Jeff Merck and Stephen Thomas, I would imagine.
Yeah, Jeff Merck made a move on Robbie Richards there, put Jeff Merck into the 4th position. Brady, I'm getting worried about Ashley Dodson's decision. Chris Blanchard just went a lap down. He just got out of the leader's way. He's on the high side there. Ashley Dodson, 17 seconds behind the leader, and that gap is getting bigger every lap. Still running about half a second slower than your leader, Adam Newton. I mean, he could be in trouble to go a lap down here in the next 10 laps.
Absolutely. I mean, look, as we see, I believe that's Chris Blanchard right there getting into the wall. Ooh, ouch. We'll have to keep an update on what happened right there to Chris. Maybe it's just a little bit of, worn tires getting tight, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. But yeah, back to your point about Ashley, sometimes we've seen this strategy in the past with other drivers. Sometimes they work, but sometimes they don't. I believe it, it all, depends on the track. I would say that this is not the time to do it, this type of race, this type of track, but, to each their own.
I wonder if he did it because he's trying to flip stages around. But the thing is, if he saves a set of tires, I get that. It only helps him if we see a caution with 30 to go. But so far tonight, 0 cautions that aren't a stage caution. Brady, as you see Joey Doucette into the wall as Stephen Thomas is underneath him. A little bit of a bump there. I was listening to a radio chatter. Chris Blanchard said he hit the wall hard a couple of times. He is currently a lap down. He's really far off the pace. He's 25.8 seconds. Still under the minimum race speed, though, at the moment, so he is good to continue running, but he's hit the wall a few times, quite struggling with the handling of that number 9 Ford. You see Jeff Merck now, I believe, to the inside of Justin Lumpkin here for the 3rd position. Lumpkin's just going to kind of go all the way out to the wall. Will Merck clear him on exit? Yes, Merck will get the 3rd position to Jeff Merck. He's going to start hunting down Keith Bradley and Adam Newton, Brady.
Yeah, and I believe that's just Justin surrendering that spot just to kind of keep his momentum up. You've seen whenever Joey got passed by Jeff, he kind of fought him a little bit harder. He lost a bunch of momentum coming off of forward, so great job by Justin just letting him go. Hey, I'm going to get stage points right here. What I need to do what you need to do. As we see Justin Lumpkin get in the wall coming off the 4.
Yeah, he was really loose there. Slid all the way down to the bottom lane on the front straightaway. Now he's got a rear view full of Robbie Richards. Important further on back inside the top 10, Taylor Peacock has moved up to the 8th position. Justin White, 9th. Kyle has 10th. So that cut line might shift a little bit. It will get bigger for those 3 drivers as long as Michael McKinnon and Ashley Dodson don't start scoring stage points along with Ed Osborne. But it's going to start flipping who is the driver on the cut in the case of Ashley Dodson getting a lucky yellow late and using that fresh set of tires to his advantage, Brady.
Absolutely. And, we're going to have to keep an eye out on how much damage it is on that Lumpkin machine, that 18 machine of Sick With It Motorsports. Obviously he's still, somewhat competitive, but I think it's definitely, unless he gets it fixed under this next stage break, Tyler, don't see that machine being good enough to win the race. So I'd like to see, and, this is getting down to, you just mentioned earlier, an extra 10 laps. More than the first stage. People are going to go these extra 10 laps, and these tires are going to get a little bit worn off more. Tighter the truck's going to get. We'll see as we see another guy right there. Justin White looks like he got into the wall. So Ashley Dodson actually might make himself look like a genius if we get a late stage caution right here.
Well, now Justin White has got passed by Phil Pappas. Now Justin White's not scoring any stage points here in stage 2 at the moment as things run. So we're coming to 10 to go in stage number 2, Brady. Now we're in that unknown period for a lot of these drivers. I didn't see a lot of runs in practice longer than 25 laps. And now we're beyond the 30-lap run we ran in the first stage. At this point, a lot of things are new for some of these drivers. They're going to start experiencing things handling with the truck that they hadn't seen yet. It'll be interesting to see how some of these drivers handle it, and if we're going to see more trucks hitting those walls off of 4 and off of 2. I think that's going to happen as, oh, wow, that was close for Kyle Hess.
Yeah, and like I said, you're just, like you just mentioned, unknown territory. We're getting into that set where it's like, man, do I push it like I did stage 1? And if you did, it's just the big unknown right here. As you see, Kyle Hess is going to try to make a pass right here on Joey Doucette. We've seen him fall throughout this run, so is Joey Doucette going to be a victim of maybe not getting stage points?
Yeah, and I think that's fine for Doucette. He had such a cushion coming into the race and had a lot of stage 1 points. I think he picked up, it looks like 6 points in stage 1. So Joey Doucette, I think, is fine. I'm not worried about Joey Doucette if he loses out in stage points here. But this is going to affect that cut line with Kyle Hess getting another stage point and maybe Phil Pappas Kyle Hess might be able to leapfrog Justin White here in the standings, putting Justin White on the bubble. Because now Justin White's got a review full of Michael McKinnon and Raul Meza as Phil Pappas, and it looks like, yep, Phil Pappas is going to get by Joey Doucette as well.
Absolutely. And you see Raul, like you just mentioned, Raul Meza come into the picture here. Joey is in trouble, I would imagine. And you know, the last thing you want to do, Tyler, is lose all this track position, fall out of top 10, because now you got to work your way back. And does it affect you in a sense of how you ran this stage before the rest of the race? Is this, you know, going to be a common thing as, you know, we're about to be halfway through this race?
Yeah, and the battle for the bubble and the battle for that last stage point heating up. Joey Doucette currently in 10th. Justin White 11th there. There you see Michael McKinnon in 12th. Michael McKinnon with a huge run down the front straightaway. Is he going to be able to make the move here in 1 and 2? They're side by side. Raul Meza waiting in the wings for something to happen. McKinnon to the inside. Raul Meza's going to get a bit of a run down the back straightaway. They're still side by side as they go into 3 and 4. Then you're going to see, oh, they got a little bit tight there. That's still side by side. McKinnon and White. Can they hold it off of 4? Almost contact between the two as they get off of 4.
You just get so tight right there, Tyler, as I mentioned earlier, coming off of 4. But great job by both drivers keeping it going as we get about 4 laps to go in this stage.
Meanwhile, you do mention 4 laps to go. Taylor Peacock, though, he's up to 6th now in the running order at this point in time. That's 5 stage points, I believe, Brady. So that'd be a huge swing in the point standings for Taylor Peacock. Would probably put him essentially safe, barring any incidents in stage 3 for him, as we have 3 laps left here in stage number 2. So a big second stage here for Taylor Peacock. Kyle Hess also up to 8th. That'd be another 3 stage points for him. Justin White, though, he's not yet to the back bumper of Joey Doucette. Will he miss out on stage points and be on the chopping block next? 2 laps to go in the stage, and it looks like, Brady, Ashley Dodson will survive, barring any late stage chaos here. He will remain on the lead lap.
Well, hey, you know, if that was his strategy to make happen as he goes by Huck Wigginton right there in that 00, looks like Huck has some damage. Must have got involved into the wall like some of the other drivers. But hey, at least Ashley made it happen. If this was the strategy that he wanted to pull off, great job by him for making it work.
Yeah, as the end of stage number 2 comes Adam Newton through 3 and 4 for the final time in stage number 2. Adam Newton got the lead early here in the second stage, Brady, and kind of ran away with it. He's pulled over a second lead over Keith Bradley. That'll be your stage number 2 winner. That's that 19 machine of Adam Newton. We're going to quickly give you your top 10 here in stage number 2. Adam Newton first, Keith Bradley second, Jeff Burke third. Robbie Richards will finish 4th. Stephen Thomas will get 5th. Taylor Peacock, big stage, Brady. He'll finish 6th. Justin Lumpkin falling back to 7th. Kyle Hess will finish 8th. Phil Pappas 9th. And Joey Doucette, that last lone stage point, in 10th.
Yeah, great job by you, as you mentioned, Taylor Peacock, Kyle Hess. Justin White, I would get a little bit worried here, as we're going to spend this time as we see the guys coming down pit road. Hopefully they don't speed, and hopefully everything gets in and out accordingly. But at the time, we're going to bring in our buddy Wesley Outland. Wesley, you got a copy?
Hey, good evening, man. Just kind of watching everything going on at the Munster Mile, and you know, it's the playoffs, and I was listening to what you and Tyler were talking about, honestly, here, Brady, and you know, you got to have a flawless race. You got to be competitive. You can't make mistakes, and obviously these pit stops need to be good because it's been a clean and green race with the exception of the second caution coming out because of the end of the stages. But I got a feeling, though, this third stage, it's going to be pretty wild here.
I would have to agree with you, Wesley. The track is still heating up. It's currently only about 10:11 in the morning in the virtual Dover, Delaware Raceway. The track's going to continue to get hotter. That concrete surface is going to continue to expand. It's not going to accept as much rubber anymore. It's going to get more and more slick, gentlemen. And we're going to have some long runs. And if we, have green flag stops, we're going to see drivers pushing the limits. I think we're going to see more trucks in the wall. And also, this is the hardest pit road to get to on green. And green flag conditions, in my opinion, as we're looking back at the grid. I can give you guys a quick points update. Taylor Peacock is now +9 on the cut line. Kyle Hess is +6. Justin White is +5. Ed Osborne is -5. Michael McKinnon -12. And Ashley Dodson -20. So I would say Michael McKinnon and Ashley Dodson are in must-win positions. Ed Osborne, not necessarily, but, this is a big but, he will probably need something to happen to a driver ahead of him not finishing the race, considering he's been running around the 15th, 16th position throughout much of tonight's event.
And you got to think, too, guys, we're coming off of the race, obviously, at Michigan last week. Michigan and Dover, a totally different animal. It's less than a mile than what the size of the 2-mile Michigan track is. Brady, you're running on concrete. The whole scenario of the way that you would drive this track is totally different than what it was for Michigan. And obviously, if you're one of those guys that are outside the cutoff line in the playoffs, this is this third stage where not only points are up for grabs, but playoff points, positions are up. And, you want to advance to the next round. You've really got to show what you've got here in these last 75 laps.
Oh, no doubt. And, a key point, I don't want to give him the commentator's curse or the announcer's curse, but we've seen Adam Newton shine at places like Bristol. So that concrete surface compared to this surface at Dover, I think fits right into his wheelhouse of his driving style. So I believe Adam Newton is the truck to beat.
I would actually agree with you, Brady. I will say, though, Jeff Merck was running slightly faster lap times at the end of stage 2, but not significant enough for him to catch back up. We'll have to see if Merck takes a more aggressive early stage approach here as the lights are off on the iRacing pace truck. Let's do a quick rundown of the top 10. That's Adam Newton in first. He'll lead the field green. Jeff Merck second. Keith Bradley and Robbie Richards will make up row number 2. Row number 3 will have Stephen Thomas, and Taylor Peacock started at the back, but he's had a great run tonight. He's pretty safe. Meanwhile, row number 4 is filled with Justin Lumpkin and Joey Doucette, and row number 5 will be Kyle Hess and Phil Pappas. So, top 10 there. Justin White, though, outside the top 10 right now. Michael McKinnon, that's 12th position. Those two right next to each other. You have to go all the way back to 18th for Ashley Dodson and 19th for Ed Osborne. Gentlemen, as we are rolling through 3 and 4, the iRacing pace truck getting ready to pull onto the virtual Dover Racing pit lane. And Adam Newton will lead the field to green. It'll be approximately 70 laps left in the show tonight. In the Hoopties Garage 150, Adam Newton gets through the Geico restart zone. We are underway here in stage number 3 at Dover International Speedway.
Let's watch Adam Newton set it off up the bank, get into turn number 1 and 2. He'll clear by, of course, the leader. Hold on to that top spot for second on third and fourth on back. They're all single file. Now here comes the inside lane. It's a shot for the lead to the bottom on Newton. Newton's under attack now for that lead as they work again off the corner out of turn 4.
Yeah, we saw Jeff Merck get really loose there, Brady. What's those drivers dealing with on cold tires early on?
It's just sketchy, the tires aren't really into the racing surface right off the back. So it's all about getting some heat in the tires, getting heat in the brakes a little bit. I'm sure they're dragging the brake a little bit through these corners. So just trying to get a little bit of heat in the tires to get them to stick to the racing surface.
And Jeff Merck had a really good strong run there for just a second. He'll pull back down to the inside of that machine. Bradley will follow. That's the animal, a former champion out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And right now you're starting to see the top 3 weasel away as Adam Newton drops to the inside. Merck will go to the high side. Bradley will follow as they work Tyler off of turn number 4. What a great battle on the restart for the lead.
Newton pounded the wall off of 2 that time, Wesley and Brady. I mean, absolutely just rocked. The right side of that truck is clearly damaged. When he hit it, it took off like a shot to the bottom. Merck takes the lead. Bradley, the animal, follows him in second. And now Robbie Richards is going to start reeling it out of Newton. That's significant contact to the right side of that number 19 swim machine for Adam Newton.
Moving forward, I will never say a driver's name again. I will just call them driver A, B, C, D. Going into turn 1, we'll see if Keith Bradley can make the pass on Jeff Merck.
And right now, Jeff Merck holds on to that top spot as they work their way down the back stretch here. Of course, crossing over the pedestrian track on the overhang here at Dover off of turn 3 and 4. Now Bradley peeks to the inside. He wants to look for the lead on Merck. He can't get there. They're side by side. Tyler back to 1, and they make contact.
Almost contact there. Looks like Merck kind of just missed his entry point. Bradley did too. As Merck's going to get to his rear bumper. Contact made between the 2 drivers down the back straightaway. The pedestrian bridge. They're going to go under this time through 3 and 4. Bradley cleared Merck, but there was some contact on that back straightaway, Brady. Was that maybe a shot from Merck? Not happy with maybe the slight door-to-door contact in 1 and 2.
I'm not sure, but we've seen these two guys. They've raced around each other all season long, and I've heard Keith Bradley get tired of Jeff doing that to him. So maybe a little bit of payback, but nothing, taking each other out. So just this is how hard they race these guys. So I think it's some good, clean, fun racing.
Yeah, really keep an eye on them right now as they cross the stripe. It'll be lap number 86 of 150 here in this third stage. And, of course, right now inside, Merck looks to the inside, back to the outside. It's Bradley with the top spot. Newton has fell back to third by about 2 truck lengths. That's the way they stand as they work their way again off of turn number 4.
I'm really impressed with the way Adam Newton has handled that amount of contact he made with that outside wall off of 2. He's still right there as Jeff Merck to the inside here in 1 and 2. Keith Bradley gives him a lane. He's going to hold him down here. Can they hold it clean off of 2 this time by? No one makes any contact with the wall or each other as they're going towards 3 and 4.
Man, there was just a little wiggle there for a second, Brady, by that 29 of Bradley, and that allowed Jeff Merck to make it work to the inside. He'll go to the lead as they work off 4.
Absolutely, and this is just exciting. This is what we want to see. And like Tyler mentioned earlier, pit stops, green flag pit stops are going to occur if this race continues to go green.
Merck barely cleared him there off of 2. Bradley getting right to his rear bumper again. Almost contact between the 2 and 3 and 4. Bradley's just able to drive the truck in deeper, Wesley, than Merck is, but Merck gets such a good run down the straightaways. But now Bradley looking to the inside of 1 and 2.
Darts to the inside, makes that move on driver left to the driver door of Merck's machine. Merck climbs the banking down the back straightaway now. Bradley back to the inside. He's half a car length down to the bottom. He can't clear him now. They're going to go door to door as they work off the corner. Bradley's got the momentum off of 4.
Just back and forth, Brady and Wesley back and forth. These two drivers not willing to give an inch. They don't want to be the one stuck in dirty air. We have 60 laps remaining. The Hoopties Garage 150. Tight there off of 2. They both get loose. They both wiggle. They're going to be side by side as they enter 3 and 4 again. Adam Newton has the front row view to this show. Bradley, though, looking to clear off of 4. You're going to see a crossover move there by Jeff Merck.
Man, you got to love what's going on here right now as Merck's right now playing possum, cat and mouse going on between these two drivers. Adam Newton, Brady, I guess, just kind of lying in the weeds here. He knows there's still about over 60 laps to go in this race. There's still plenty of time. Don't use up your tires. And again, as you mentioned, we think we're going to see green flag pit stops. And the racing, though, has been so intense as Newton gets into the side. I'm sorry, not Newton. That was Bradley. Got into the side of the machine of Merck. Merck does fall back now. He loses ground. Here comes Newton reeling him in, and they go back into the equal distance off 2. Wow.
I mean, just absolutely amazing back and forth there. It actually didn't even look like contact. It looked like just the air got sucked off the side of Merck's truck there, Wesley, and sideways he was off of 4. Now Keith the Animal Bradley has 0.3 of a second lead. Make that 0.4 of a second lead through 1 and 2 this time. Adam Newton trying to knock on the door further on in the field as we look at that playoff cut line. Taylor Peacock in the 8th position. Kyle Hess in the 9th position. Justin White's fallen all the way to 15th. Ashley Dodson and Michael McKinnon have gotten past him. There is some drama still left, gentlemen, as we look at that playoff cut line. Brady, if you're Justin White, what are you thinking right now?
Oh, I'm worried. I'm worried to see how this all pans out. You see Ashley Dodson making a run up there. You see all these other guys get stage points, and now they're running, close to you or ahead of you, I should say. So I'm definitely getting worried if I'm in that 2 machines camp.
Just trying to hold on to that momentum as right now we're showing the top 3. Now there's the White machine, Justin White right there, the number 2 Chevrolet Toyota. Of course, the Concerns of Police Citizens sponsored entry, and look like he's trying to make a climb back into the top 10. Watching all of this going on here, you look at the scoring ticker up on the top of the screen, and honestly here, as we've gotten back to about 7-8 laps into this stage, Tyler, things have calmed down now. Even up with the front runners, they finally got single file. I think it's just maybe too early to start racing as aggressively as what we just saw. Just kind of ride and drive right now. And you're also noticing a lot of massive cloud cover over the racetrack as we're also approaching the sim time of the afternoon.
Yeah, that's really beneficial, Wesley, that cloud cover. It's going to cool the surface a little bit. The drivers are going to really appreciate that. But it's important to point out, 71 laps from Louis Green to the end of this race. fuel window, from what my conversations were with Keith Bradley and Joey Doucette pre-race, about 49 to 50 laps on a full tank of gas. These drivers have one more pit stop to make it to the end. It can happen anywhere now, essentially, as we're 50 laps out. If someone driver wants to come in early, I think most drivers will opt to kind of split it in half. So I wouldn't expect to see anyone for another 10 to 15 laps, Wesley or Brady. But if you're someone like Michael McKinnon or Ashley Dodson, is it worth maybe the gamble if you see maybe another half a second of fall off to be the first driver in and try and jump a few spots?
You know, and that's a very valid point, obviously, because every position gained, position earned, especially if you're one of those guys, Brady. And I want to bring you back into the subject that's playing in the playoffs. You won the championship in the NASCAR DSR Electric Truck Series in Season 2, the Monday night program. And, you know, obviously, you got to run Dover differently than you run Daytona or even Michigan like you were last week. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it just all the strategy kind of comes into play. It's playoff time. Everybody's on their A game, so you gotta find an advantage somewheres, right, Wesley? You gotta find it somewheres, and you gotta make it happen. And to Tyler's point, if I'm Ashley Dodson, I'm thinking of maybe undercutting the field. Want to be maybe the first ones because I have an extra set of tires. It's a matter of when the caution's going to come out. I think there's going to be a caution. And that plays into another aspect of it. You don't want to be caught a lap down because you went pit too early.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And, you know, Brady hit on it perfectly, Tyler Dittmer. And the bottom line is this. And listen, you know about it from being a star in the broadcast booth. You've also been an ace in the season. Brady Buff was ironically the Season 2 champion of the playoffs. You were the regular season champion of the, of course, NASCAR DSR Electric Truck Series during the regular season, and we're starting to see trucks pulling onto the pit lane here now.
Ashley Dodson. It's Ashley Dodson. He did exactly what we thought he might do. You are within the pit window. Him and Chris Blanchard came in together. Actually, I think this is Chris Blanchard's second time around. I think he might have sped the first time through, gentlemen. So Chris Blanchard may have a pass-through penalty here, but Ashley Dodson, the first playoff driver to come down pit road. He's within the window to make it. Does that draw the other drivers down, Brady and Wesley? Or do you just kind of say, he was back in 9th or 10th, forget about it?
And remember, this is also what we could call, Brady, the undercut. This is where you're seeing drivers that might hit a few laps or a couple of laps or a handful of laps before the scheduled pit road opens, where the other major leaders will come in, and that can be possibly to your advantage because you can one-up them. Yes, you got to drop back on the scoring pylon, but then they've got to make their pit stops, and if you can be on a undercut, you can quickly try to climb back into the race and get as many positions as you can before they get, when they finally do make their pit stop.
Absolutely. If I'm running top 7, top 8, like Kyle Hess, Taylor Peacock, I'm running with the other leaders. I'm not worried about what Ashley Dodson does. If I'm Justin White, I may hurry up and do the same strategy as Ashley Dodson, because there's a chance that Justin White, could get in as long as Ashley Dodson doesn't win. You know, if Ashley Dodson wins, it moves Justin White further down. So if I'm Justin White, I may pit within the next 2 or 3 laps here.
Got to keep an eye on that for sure. And honestly, Tyler, and, as we mentioned, driver / announcer analyst, you've been in those predicaments as well, where even if, like Brady said, if a guy like Dodson goes for the undercut, if you're a guy that's maybe like Bradley in the top 3, top 5, maybe if you're in the top 10, you want to keep an eye on when those leaders peel onto pit road, because it's kind of the monkey see, monkey do movement. If you see them peel onto the pit lane, it's probably better to go in and pit when they pit, because if you don't, especially making green flag pit stops on a track on a mile size like here at Dover, first off, they've got to be flawless pit stops. But secondly, and most importantly, you got to keep yourself with the hindsight of the pack of the lead, or you will lose the race yourself just by strategy.
Yeah, we've seen that happen at multiple different tracks throughout multiple different series in NASCAR. We saw it in the championship race at Fontana, just how important it was to pit well within or really close to the first driver inside the top 5 that pitted. Brady LaBeouf played that strategy perfectly, the color commentator here tonight, but we saw, Hunter Parsons try and jump the gun and be the first one to pit, but the problem is if Brady doesn't come in within a lap or two and he waits and he's longer, he's going to have significantly more speed on the long run, that it's going to help him out as we see Ashley Dotson start to carve his way through the field. But he's 2 laps down at the moment on the scoring pylon. So really what Dotson needs is no cautions, and he needs the pit cycles to start happening here shortly.
I tell you what, Brady, right now I'm just kind of seeing everybody playing possum. You know, maybe it was really, really early when Dodson came down to the pit lane, but everyone else, I think, is just kind of waiting for about 30 laps to go. I'm thinking between lap 115 or 120 is finally when we'll see the leaders peel off. They're just not showing no signs of stopping yet with the animal. Keith Bradley still up in front.
Well, you know, if I'm Adam Newton, we saw Adam Newton get into the wall earlier. I'm not just going to ride behind Jeff Merck and Keith Bradley and watch them win the race. I feel safe at this point that I'm going to make it in. So I feel like a guy like Adam Newton needs to come down pit road and maybe make a pit stop.
Yeah, good point. Hey, and if you're a fan of the trucks, Tyler, join Brady LaBeouf and myself. We're going to be doing a race on a Sunday afternoon, ain't we, Brady? This Sunday, the 4th annual Lone Star Racing Toys for Tots charity race. It'll be broadcasted on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. I'm already understanding, Brady, that we've got a 40-truck field for the first race on Sunday afternoon, that they're actually running a second race because of it. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds like an amazing event.
Yeah, we'll get that link posted on our Facebook for everybody if they want to watch in, Wesley. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, it's the 4th annual Lone Star Racing Toys for Tots charity race. It'll be on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, of course, this Sunday, December 3rd, 3 Eastern, 2 Central, Texas Motor Speedway. And, of course, I got a feeling, Tyler, you'll be there, and a lot of other NASCAR drivers will be a part of this event for sure. And, obviously, it's a great way to bring in the holiday, the Christmas season, and raise money for some kids.
Of course, Wesley, as we're now coming up to that 35 to go window, Ashley Dotson did get one of his laps back, Wesley. Still got one more to go, but you saw kind of a little bit of a shakeup near the front for a little bit. Jeff Merck got to the rear bumper of Keith Bradley, but now he's fallen off again about another 4/10. So 4/10 second gap at the moment between the leaders as we saw another driver there pit. That's Adam Johnson, the O2 machine. We're at that point, Wesley, where I think we're going to start seeing these leaders coming in the next 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, like I said, I think that pit window is going to open up sometime between lap 120 to 125, 130. Phil Pappas now gets the pass around on the 85 machine of getting around that machine there, watching him work his way back around the corner. He got around the 48 machine of Robbie Richards, our buddy out of Gaffney, South Carolina, in the Mission 1 Esports entry. And right now there you see the Toyota. That's Keith Bradley. And honestly, Brady is getting so cloudy. It looks like it's almost nightfall conditions. And remember, Dover doesn't have lights, but it really looks like, and we're only early in the afternoon. I think Dean showed the graphic earlier from the bottom right of the monitor. It was like close to 10:30 in the morning. It's just exactly dead on it. It's just very cloudy. It's cloudy, and the conditions aren't perfect. With the track temp at 91 degrees, of course, the ambient temperature at 72. All of this is just causing to see, I think, a lot of these drivers seeing who hit the mark perfectly handling-wise. Because, a lot of people don't realize when you get stuck in massive cloud cover and then you get back in bright sunshine, it can really change the handling on these trucks in virtual and obviously, Brady, in reality.
Absolutely, Wesley, and that's a good point. And it's actually helping out, guys like Keith Bradley, Jeff Merck, the guys that's running up front, as we see a couple of guys look like crushed a wall right there. That's Lumpkin, looks like Zach Hartwick and Raul Meza right here trying to figure this race out.
Keith Bradley's pitting, gentlemen. Keith Bradley's pitting. The race leader is coming in. Hate to interrupt your commentary there, Brady, but this is the first domino to fall inside the top 10. Keith Bradley pits, and he's going to take Robbie Richards and Stephen Thomas, and Kyle Hess are all going to follow suit.
Newton, Pappas, Peacock, Doucette, all these other drivers, Brady, sitting ducks, and I told you, you really didn't need to make something like that happen. Now they're going to have to either pit within the next 2 or 3 laps to try to stay within the cycle of Keith Bradley, but I think they've lost it here. This strategy right here might have just cost him the race.
Well, that remains to be seen, but I can guarantee you this. It's going to get real busy right here on pit road. It's going to get very busy. And another thing to watch for is getting on and off pit road. Watch for a caution to come out in case somebody spins trying to get in on pit road and
That's
off
right.
pit
Oh,
road.
yeah.
So be on the lookout in case somebody gets caught laps down.
Yeah, Tyler, Brady makes a great point as we saw Peacock come to the pit lane and some other drivers as well. Here comes Justin Lumpkin entering pit road. A lot of people talk about it in the real NASCAR ARCA circuit. Brandon Bullock on pit road. One of the hardest places to enter is, of course, at the Dover Speedway because you enter going down the backstretch, going into turn number 3, and you got to go all the way around the racetrack down at the bottom of the pit lane until you can enter back onto the racetrack in turn number 1. You can't be speeding. You got to be on your binders. And most importantly, Tyler, you've done this before. You've got to be aware of where your pit stall is and that you do not overshoot it.
And it's so easy to speed on this pit road, Wesley. I've done it multiple times because it's curved in the beginning of the entries. You see Adam Newton here is on pit road. It's 160 miles an hour these drivers are hitting going down the back straightaway as they enter 3 and 4. They're going through the corners at about 130 miles an hour, and they have to get slowed down to 35 miles an hour on the banking on concrete or asphalt concrete mix. As you see, there's a little bit of asphalt on the pit road here surface, but it is such a difficult pit road to make. Want to point out the couple things. Drivers that pitted early, Ashley Dodson. He is currently ahead of Keith Bradley on the racetrack. He is right now. I'm trying to see. Oh, Keith Bradley's back down pit road. Something went wrong with Keith Bradley. Sped on pit road. I'm positive of it, gentlemen.
Wow.
It looks like he sped on pit road. That might be the end of Keith Bradley's night.
Brady, that's exactly what I was talking about, man. These types of mistakes, you cannot make them. Now, honestly, the animal wants a caution flag now to try to get back in the cycle of things because that just took him out of the running for the win.
Well, to Ashley Dotson's point, he wants this thing to go about maybe 15 laps and then a caution to be thrown, and then he'll have that extra set of tires. Maybe so, and that's what I would be looking for. Keep an eye on that. And I like I said, I don't think this thing's over. It's going to get down to crunch time right here. Guys are going to make moves that they probably didn't make, lap 10, lap 15 into the race. So it's going to get real hairy right here as we see Ashley Dodson go down pit road again.
Yeah, we're under 25 laps to go now as here comes Ashley Dodson back down on pit road. Got to find out and see if there's a penalty on the Chevrolet number 88 machine here in the Hoopties Garage 150 playoffs time here for the NASCAR. Of course, concerns of police citizens playoff race Friday night. And I'll tell you something else too, guys. 2 cautions. They've only been for the end of the stage breaks. How cool is it, Tyler, to see 25 trucks close to them as we're still seeing more green flag pit stops coming on. Raul Meza is in his pit stall, getting ready to peel in. Zach Hartwick is on the way to the pit lane. 25 trucks almost on a Friday night around the tight confines like the Munster Mile here at Dover. And Tyler, we have been caution free. I don't want to jinx anything, but that also gives a huge credit caliber and respect to the drivers on the NASCAR Friday Night Series for literally, appreciating and, having respect for the guys that they're racing with, for sure.
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing to watch, Wesley. And we've had close moments. We've had tight moments. We've had drivers get into the wall. They pushed the limit. But they figured out to save their trucks every single time. They figured out a way to keep their trucks rolling forward. As we see Joey Doucette, the only driver yet to have pit under this cycle of pit stops. He last pitted on lap 76. He's should be running on empty at this point in time, Brady and Wesley. So we should expect him here in the next couple of laps at the most. But cycled to the lead. Phil Pappas, that number 85 machine, he pitted in with that first group. Joey Doucette now coming down pit road. He just announced it over the radio. Phil Pappas came with Keith Bradley, didn't speed, and he got the lead. Phil Pappas here maybe upsetting with another non-playoff driver, non-Fast 14 driver winning another race in the Fast 14 would be absolutely amazing.
Brady, has the strategy of this race changed, obviously, with now under 20 laps to go? We're seeing the cycle of green flag pit stops is now Joey Doucette of the 16 Chevrolet peels onto the pit lane. Phil Pappas is now the leader in the 85 Chevrolet. And we're just spreading everybody out now. I mean, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Pappas, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Whatever strategy you had coming into this race at this point with 18 laps to go, it's, you've made it happen. You've executed at this point. So whatever you have now is what you're going to have the rest of the race.
Watching him work off the corner again now is, of course, Phil Pappas, the man up in front, the number 85 machine. There's a look at the 86 truck. That is Kyle Hess. Phil Pappas, of course, teammates with the BP Racing for Autism program. And right now looking for a big win, a playoff win in this event here at the Hoopties Garage 150 is right now just kind of Tyler riding and driving, and I hate to say this, just kind of knocking these laps off. There's nobody showing any effort to run down the machine of Pappas, and as long as he can hold on to where he's at right now, this man could possibly pull up a big win here at Dover.
Well, there's a driver who wants to get up there, and he's trying his darndest, but he is just stuck in traffic. And that's that 60 machine we're looking at right now. Jeff Merck to the inside of Robbie Richards for the third position. He's only 2.2 seconds back of Pappas. He'll clear Richards there off of 2. 2.2 seconds back. Stephen Thomas in second, losing ground to Pappas at the moment in time. He's about 1.7 seconds back, was 0.3 slower the last lap by. We're coming to 15 laps to go. Those drivers in second and third, if they want to go get that leader, they got to start moving, and now.
Yeah, it's very good way to definitely set the stage, watching all this happen as you're on board now with Phil Pappas and his Chevrolet, and you see the rundown up on the top here at the Hoopties Garage 150. It's coming down to the end of it here. And right now, down the back straightaway, Pappas is just right now, Brady, I know you got lap traffic in your way, but look at what he just did perfectly getting by Blanchard. Hit your marks. Don't get stuck in a battle with anybody. You're the fastest truck. Clear them quickly and get out of harm's way and hold on for the lead with 15 to go.
Absolutely. And, you know, Phil won at the Milwaukee Mile early on in the year. So maybe not exactly the same track, but similar, I would believe, as we see Jeff Merck getting underneath Stephen Thomas trying to make a pass for second place as they almost get into each other.
Yeah, Thomas pinched him there both, like really tight. Thomas messed up the exit of 4, super slow. You saw Merck have to lift, which is really dangerous in these trucks. Lifting off the corner makes the back end super light and more likely to come around on you. So Merck got lucky there. He didn't lose it. And then just Stephen Thomas just kind of pinching him down there, looking back on it for me. Just a little bit necessarily. Merck was there. He had the run. I don't understand what Thomas was kind of doing in that moment.
Yeah, and then there was that lap machine of Blanchard up on the outside, and I think that really, honestly, you know, as a driver analyst, Brady made him have to be a little bit more aggressive on what he had to do. Merck did to Thomas to try to get the clear on him, and obviously finally cleared him, and then you got to wonder how we're watching on board with Richards. Robert Richards is now want to try to get around the Thomas machine, but it just shows you how good Merck's truck is, guys. His truck, as soon as he cleared by the lap machine and Thomas, he has pulled away, and he's trying to make an effort to run down Pappas to try to win this race. He's in second, and he's closing in faster lap by a second and a half back to Pappas at the line.
Last time by, 0.3 of a second faster Jeff Merck was than Phil Pappas, but he's got 2 lap trucks, making 1 lap truck now between him and that leader. So he's got to get by this lap truck quickly. He's only got coming now to 9 laps to go this time by. He's by that lap truck now. He can set sail, make it 1.3 seconds. We'll see what the lap times are this time by. Wesley and Brady and Phil Pappas ran a 24.1 and Jeff Merck ran a 23.9. So another 0.2 faster. I think Merck's going to get there.
So my question is this. It's one thing to get there. It's another thing to get around him. And I think we're going to see ourselves, Brady, set up for one awesome finish if he could just continue to hold his line in that 64.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I'm not just going to give him the win just yet. We'll have to wait and see how hard Phil races him. I would imagine Phil's going to race him pretty hard just because, everybody wants to win tonight. And he's in a great spot to win. Coming up on 7 to go. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out.
Man, Jeff Merck right there, that Ford peeled down to the inside, bottom of the racetrack, fastest line around the Munster Mile here at Dover. There's the interval for the battle for first, thanks to our producer, Dean Hopton. Bottom right, it's under a second now, 1.1 seconds now. There's the interval in the last 2 laps between Pappas and Merck has Pappas in his sights right now. And honestly, Tyler, if you're Pappas, I wouldn't even be looking in my rearview mirror. I wouldn't be worried about him reeling him in like bait on a hook. Just stay right there, hold your line, and you can just look from this angle just how fast he's coming after him with 6 to go.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, but last lap, Phil Pappas was about 0.04 of a second faster than Jeff Merck. Not a lot, I know.
That's right,
but
yeah.
he wasn't losing ground that lap. and that's the huge point to be made. Jeff Merck has only 2 lap pressure tires than Phil Pappas. Phil Pappas pit with Keith Bradley at lap 121. Was that the move that won him this race? We have 5 laps to figure out, gentlemen. I do want to say the points battle is looking very clear with Ashley Dodson and Ed Osborne struggling here tonight. Michael McKinnon not in position to win. I'm pretty confident in saying that Taylor Peacock, Kyle Hess, and Justin White will all be moving on to the Elite 10. And we're having a complete points reset here in the next round, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's right, Brady. This is an elimination race, and obviously that's when you really desperately should be trying to make some moves to try to run up here and get something done. But I just think it's these 2 drivers right here between Pappas and Merck to duke it out for the win. They're kind of stalemate.
Absolutely. Phil's praying. No caution. No caution. He wants this to run out right here, coming up on 3 to go.
3 laps to go. 3 miles remain, Tyler Dittmer. You're on board from the tailgate of Phil Pappas in the 85 Chevrolet. He is hitting his marks perfectly. He's actually started to pull away a little bit more on Merck because it's still about a 1.1 second interval. Thomas is 3 seconds back to the leaders. Richards is 5 seconds back. Newton is 5 seconds back in the top 5 coming out of 4. This time by 2 to go.
Yeah, now we're getting to that point where these tires are starting to struggle a little bit. We're at that 25-ish lap mark on this run. That outside right front tire is really starting to have a problem, but it's hurting both of these drivers equally. Oh, there's Jeff Merck in the wall off of 2, Brady and Wesley.
Oh, wow.
Jeff Merck just gave the win away. He's lifted significantly. I can hear the engine pretty much just out of it entirely as he entered 3 and 4. He's just trying to get that truck home in one piece. Phil Pappas cooked the white flag that time by 1 last lap for the Hoopties Garage 150, and a non-playoff driver is about to do it again.
Man, what about Thomas Doucette now clearing by Richards? Here comes Newton trying to get back into the battle. This is inside the top 5 to the back straightaway, but meanwhile, here comes the leader coming off of turn number 4. It is going to be Phil Pappas with the strategy. With a mostly green flag run to the line, he will win the Hoopties Garage 150, and that Chevrolet picks up a big win here at the Munster Mile at Dover. What a show. And Brady Miles the Munster has got to be a little disappointed. He didn't chomp up and chew out a lot of these Nazareth competitors like I really thought this track would do tonight.
No cautions tonight besides the stage breaks. As you see, Jeff Merck gets 2nd. Stephen Thomas is going to be 3rd. Robbie Richards holds off Adam Newton for that 4th position. Adam Newton will come home 5th. Taylor Peacock, 6th place. He seems like he's ran 6 all race long. Kyle Hess, 7th. Justin White comes home 8th. Justin Lumpkin, that 18 machine stick with the Motorsports, 9th. And to round out your top 10, Adam Johnson comes back to run top 10 as we've seen him run towards the back of the field, Tyler, most of this race.
Yeah, a really solid top 10 there for Adam Johnson. As we look throughout the rest of the field, Zach Hartwick takes 11th, Joe Doucette 12th, Raul Meza finishes 13th, Mike McKinnon 14th, Brandon Bullock 15th. James Morris comes home in 16th. Ed Osborne under the weather pushes through, finishes 17th. Ashley Dodson will finish 18th. Strategy just did not work out for him. He'll finish 1 lap down as well. Chris Blanchard 19th, and Jeff Sickles will round out your top 20 with the animal. Keith Bradley finishing 21st after his penalty, and Huck Wigington, the last truck in the field, finishing 22nd. Brady Wesley, I mean, a fascinating race, but I'm fairly confident in announcing who our Elite 10 is. I know the points haven't been done yet, but I would put money that what 10 I have written down is going to make it through, and I'll give it to you here as we're looking at the playoff grid. Jeff Merck, he's in. Keith Bradley, he's in. Joey Doucette, he's in. Adam Newton, put him in. Stephen Thomas, put him in. Robbie Richards, he gets in. Justin Lumpkin is in. And then you have Justin White, he's in. Chris Cinnamon did not show up tonight. He is out. Not in your Elite 10, as well as Ashley Dodson, who had that 25-point penalty, was actually in the red coming in tonight. He is out as well. We have Taylor Peacock and Kyle Hess from outside that cut line. Put them in, and I believe that is your Elite 10. We'll have the points here done relatively quickly as we're going to start moving on to post-race interviews. I believe Brady LaBeouf is standing by with our 3rd place finisher, Stephen Thomas.
Hey, Stephen Thomas, Brady LaBeouf, you got a copy?
Yeah, buddy, how you doing?
Oh, well, tell us a little bit about the race. No cautions tonight. It went pretty quick. You guys finished this race in 1 hour and 15 minutes, so great job by everybody. But tell us a little bit about how the race played out. Did you Did you think it was going to go this route, or how did
Hmm.
it play?
Not at all, man. It's kind of funny that you say that and ask that question first. I said it getting into Discord at about 8:40 that we'll probably have 11 cautions tonight and be pacing around this track. So I was super surprised and impressed and happy with the green flag running we had tonight. It was fun. I mean, I didn't have speed for the top probably 5 trucks out there really the whole race, and I knew it, but it was fun to not pace around for a race, you know.
Great job. And Tyler, you got a question for Steven?
I do, Steven. You had a little bit of a scary moment there late in that last run with Jeff Merck. It seemed like you kind of had to lift out of the throttle exiting 4. He had to lift in reaction to you. Got to your inside. I don't know if maybe your spotter didn't tell you he was down there, but almost caused a huge incident between you as you had the lap truck of Chris Blanchard to your outside. Just kind of take you through kind of what happened there. Definitely a hairy moment for both of you.
Yeah, definitely. I seen him coming, and I was actually, I mean, obviously planning on letting him go, and I was going to try to do it to where it gave me. I believe Robbie was in front of me at that point, and I was trying to do it to where, or no, he was 6.6 seconds behind me, and I was trying to let him go to where I didn't lose anything on Robbie, if that makes sense. And then yeah, Chris came out of nowhere. I didn't think he was going to throw it in right there with the lap car, and of course he did. He's an aggressive driver. But yeah, that was a close call for sure. And like I said, I was just trying to make it to where I had a run on Robbie because I knew him and Newton was coming, and I'm surprised I was able to hold them off. I guess they fell off at the end right there.
Steven, it's
Wesley.
always great catching up with you, buddy, man. I got a question for you and segue into thanking your sponsors. The way that you raced in this event, thinking that there was going to be a plethora of caution flags, and then there wasn't the yellow flags. How quickly do you change your driver's strategy to at least find a way to end up on the podium tonight?
Very quickly, because I mean, like I said, I went into the first stage kind of thinking I need to stay up here during these cautions, so I have some some stage points at the end. I can race with these guys on green flag restarts. So yeah, when I realized we wasn't going to have cautions, I guess halfway through the second, then I need to find a line to where I'm fast in the long run, because obviously we're going to have one. And I kind of found something there thanks to Adam Newton, my teammate. He was super fast tonight, and every time he came out of the pits, his front right was 10% better than mine. So he definitely helped me out in the second stage, trying to figure out how to roll the corners better. And yeah, you definitely have to change your strategy a bunch when you don't have cautions halfway through the race for sure.
Well, congratulations, Steven, on a third place finish tonight, podium finish. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout out to?
I want to thank you guys at the broadcast as always. You, Brady, for running this league as always, and then I want to thank my teammates at Swim, a whole bunch of group now, man. We've gotten a lot to join. Justin Lumpkin, Jeff Sickles, the owner, Adam Newbert, Adam Newton, Justin White, Jose's just joined with us lately. Man, I know I'm going to forget a couple names because we had Brian Chu on his first win on Monday night. All you guys, I want to thank you guys for being teammates, and I want to thank my main sponsor, Jersey Smoke, Family Handyman, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, DSR Electric, and Dan Goebel, I believe you pronounce it that way. I want to thank him. He's the team owner. A's Lawns and Landscaping, Millie's Restaurant, and I'll thank everybody for watching. Y'all have a good night.
Well, great job, Steven, and we'll see you in Martinsville next week at that half-mile track. The round of 10, man. Congratulations making the Elite 10.
Awesome.
Martinsville, Talladega. It's gonna be interesting to see this next round.
Yeah, 2 different races. Huh? I love Martinsville, so I kind of want to run Martinsville like I did tonight and just make sure I finish and have some good points going into Talladega.
Well, enjoy the weekend, man, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night.
I'll say off the record as well to wrap up the Steven Thomas interview, Tyler. I have no doubt I could go to cashing my chips at Vegas and probably be a billionaire that Martinsville and Talladega will have caution flags for those races in 2 weeks.
Oh, Wesley, you and I could bet both of our mortgages on it, and it would still probably not be enough.
Yeah, let's grab Jeff Merck, I believe. I'll grab him real fast. The driver of the number 60 machine, Jeff Merck, of course, for Upfront Motorsports. Man, nothing wrong with Silver. That over-the-top designs, the entry looked really, really strong, but you got in the wall with about 10 laps, under 10 laps to go. Did that really change the strategy of the race for you? And obviously trying to fight around dirty air lap traffic to try to run down the leader. There was a time you were really, really fast, reeling in Pappas, just came up a spot shy.
Yeah, that's just more, like you said, fighting with lap traffic, trying to make up the ground. And by the time I got there, my tires leveled off with his, and I think he was faster on long green flag run anyway. Once the tires leveled off, I just got, I think, within a second of him, and then that's as close as I could get. I told the guys with about 15 to go, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch him because the times every lap just got slower and slower. And I was just like, well, okay, now it's down to 2/10. Now it's down to 1/10 and a half. Now it's down to a 1/10. And I just knew, hey, look, I'm not going to get to him. So I just kind of settled into second. I tried real hard that one time, like when you're saying when I pushed off a 2 and got into the wall, that's when I was just really overdriving the tires more than they had in them. Got the wall, and about 2 or 3 laps later, I just keyed up, told him good win.
Tyler, you got anything for Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff. I mean, ran a really, really solid stage one. Led every single lap in stage one. Stage two, we kind of saw you struggle on the short run, but kind of drive through the field throughout the remainder of stage two. Was that kind of your plan going into the slightly longer stage two, just to see if maybe saving tires early would yield a longer benefit, preparing you for stage three?
Yeah, that was kind of the game. I'm kind of kicking myself. I should have stayed up front. Clean air. Clean air is a big thing here. High speed mile. So clean air is huge. If I had it to do over, I probably would have battled Adam a little harder for that, right out of the gate and just kind of held the bottom. Can't go back and change how you ran the race. Sometimes you make the right strategy call, sometimes you don't. Yeah, I dropped back to, I think it was 6th or 7th, save time.
Well, I would take that a little bit further, Jeff. You and Keith were battling, first and second there before green flag pit stops. You know, I wouldn't really harp on the stage two aspect of it, but do you think maybe, the 2 laps that Phil Pappas pitted before you played a role, or do you feel like maybe he got on and off pit road better than you did? What was the pitch strategy that kind of played a role in all that?
Yeah, I mean that comes into play too, because I mean I saw some guys pitting from the middle of 3 and 4. I never really could do. I don't like doing that because the banking in the corner and the banking of the apron is so drastic that there's a high chance that you can either overdrive pit entry, which is probably, if I had to guess, probably what happened to Keith, because I know he went in the middle of 3 and 4. Assuming they probably got him for speeding, maybe on pit road or maybe off pit road. But yeah, it all goes into effect. You figure new tires and what was that, like a 40 lap, that first stint, we ran like 35, 40 laps. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was.
you're giving up probably 2 or 3 seconds a lap. So, 2 laps, that's 6 seconds that you have to make up. And on 2 lap different tires, that's hard to do, and I come up about a second short. So that right there is just, but every week, I say this every week in the interviews. Uh, I love racing with Keith. I mean, we race each other up. I think as hard as 2 people can race on this thing, beating and banging, sliding around, hitting each other in the door, pushing each
Yeah,
other off into the corner, trying to make the other driver make a mistake. I always love racing with Keith. He's a great driver, and I look forward to racing him every week.
absolutely. Well, before we let you go, we'll let you do your thank yous and shout outs. Anybody that you want to thank tonight, give us a little bit of preview of what you're looking forward to next week at Martinsville in this next round of Elite 10.
Oh God, if I'm there, I really like Martinsville. Martinsville's a good track. Unfortunately, my company Christmas party is next Friday, so I haven't decided if I'm going to the Christmas party or racing for the championship yet. You'll find out next week whether I'm there or not.
Oh, Tyler, a little bit of sneak peek of breaking news for us. Jeff just laid the bomb on us. I know the competitors are all cheering on this company Christmas party next week. We'll have to wait and find out if Jeff hits the start or not.
Yeah. Me and the wife are still tossing it back and forth on whether. I know she hates it when I call it the wife, but she was there cheering me on. Always got to thank her first, or try to anyway. Dawn, I love you. She's in there probably watching. Brady, this might be one of the best leagues I've ever raced in. And the way everything's done, competitiveness of the drivers. I think I go back and watch the replay every week, and racing all over the place in the front, in the middle, in the back. There's always racing hard. Put a great league together. On to the sponsors, Over the Top Designs, John Hendrick. I've known him for years, great guy. Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling, Nazar Broadcasting, Nazar 360 Broadcasting, C.O.P.S, Concerns for Police Drivers. I always say every week, my wife's entire family is retired police officers.
There you go. All right. Well, Jeff Mark, thanks so much, buddy. There you go. He'll finish in the second spot. Drive me dirty, and I'll total your shit. I guarantee it. I like what the name, the wording, your quote on the back of your truck.
You like that,
Pardon my language there. Somebody hit the beat button. There you go. You're a little too late, Dean Hopton. But
We're
I
all
do
in trouble
apologize
now.
I do apologize
Now
for the
you got it.
language. If the liberals get mad out there, there's a lot more bad words in the world. But yeah, I like that for sure. It's like a warning, if you will. And again, Dean Hopton, thank you again for the little beep there. I find that hilarious. Said it's the driver there.
I couldn't hear that on the
course,
stream. Sorry, so
Jeff
even
Mark
more
finished
delayed
the-
reaction. Sorry, there you go.
Jeff Merck second. Let's go to victory lane, and Tyler Dittmer saved me. I think you got the winner now here for the Hoopties Garage 150.
Yeah, a little bit of chaos up here in the booth, but I'm standing by in victory lane with your winner, the number 85 machine of Phil Pappas. Phil, you get another win here on the season. Unfortunately, you're not in the playoff, but was that your goal tonight to come in and play spoiler here in the Fast 14?
Oh, absolutely. That's all we're doing now. We're just out here to win races, and that's it.
So, Phil, I want to talk about your thought process going through. Was your entire plan just to come in with Keith Bradley whenever he did, and then you saw that Jeff Merck didn't come in, and then when the pit cycled out, you had a pretty significant lead. How were you able to kind of control the emotions and the worry, I guess, that comes the last 10, 15 laps? Because I know we've all been there. We all have a lead with 15 to go. The guy's not right behind us, but he's starting to gain. How do you kind of maintain your focus?
Oh, hell, that's a good question. I'm not sure how I did it, but I was nervous for sure because I was out there ways and I seen, he was coming there, and I just kind of knew I was from managing the tires well, and we were actually pretty good on the long run there, so I was hoping that was enough. I had a little bit left in the tank. When I seen him coming there, I just had to get after it, and it worked out for me.
Brady, anything for Phil?
Oh yeah, Phil! Congratulations on the win, man. We've seen you, win at Milwaukee Mile, now the Dover Mile. It must be either concrete surfaces or exactly 1 mile tracks that you just to shine on. But congratulations on the win. I just want to kind of take it through. Was that I kind of got some insight on you and Kyle Hess? Was that the strategy that you guys were working on all week long? Did y'all have it in your mind that you were going to pit on that exact lap, or did it change during the race?
It actually kind of worked out. We kind of talked about that lap there. We obviously worked on it together, but after all the leaders, ahead of me were going in, I just had to make a call to go in because I know he was a couple places behind me. So I kind of had to go off and do my own thing there.
I got you. Wesley, anything for Phil?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say that obviously, everything changed during that cycle of green flag pit stops and the finish of the race for the money stop, didn't it?
It sure did. I'm actually not sure what exactly happened because I don't know if I was just a little hotter, on entrance there or what. But I wasn't leading when I went in, and when I came out, I was leading. I was able to maintain it there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're down to the final 3 races. What's your take on what we'll see, obviously, next week on the short track, the paperclip that they call it, Martinsville Speedway, the Super Speedway wild card that's Talladega. And, of course, we just saw the graphic of the schedule here for the playoffs. And then, then you're on the Talladega, and you got these guys racing for a championship here for the finale at Atlanta for the Championship 6. But those next 2 rounds are going to be very, very interesting, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. You're going to see some wild racing here. These guys are going to be getting after it for sure. And obviously, at a plate race, it's going to get even wilder. And Martinsville, you can't. That's an awful wild track there in its own.
Oh, yeah. And obviously, to add on to this and segue to your sponsors, with you being somebody that's out of the playoff picture, you're just looking for wins, right? You're just looking for checkered flags. I think Brady hinted on that you won earlier in the year at Milwaukee Mile. And other than that, man, I mean, you got nothing else but to do but just run for races and improve for next year.
That's it, man. I want to win as many races in the last handful as I can here. That's the goal here.
Tyler.
Well, Phil, before we let you go, and again, congrats on a huge win in the Hoopties Garage 150 at Dover International Speedway. Give you an opportunity to thank all the sponsors and everyone that makes this happen for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I appreciate everybody managing the league here. All the guys up in the booth. I think you guys are doing a heck of a job up there. And obviously, Eric for putting the team on here. He was watching, so obviously, I'm happy to get a win for him, too.
Well, that's the winner. Your number 85 driver, Phil Pappas, getting the job done at the Hoopties Garage 150. We appreciate him coming in and talking with us in virtual victory lane, Dover International Speedway. Wesley, I can't confirm. I have the updated points. Your Elite 10 drivers, Brady and Wesley, are Jeff Merck, Keith Bradley, Adam Newton, Joey Doucette, Robbie Richards, Stephen Thomas, Justin Lumpkin, Taylor Peacock, Kyle Hess, and Justin White. The 4 drivers eliminated being Ed Osborne, Mike McKinnon, Chris Cinnamon, and Ashley Dodson. Gentlemen, thoughts on the Elite 10 as we go to Martinsville next week?
Well, you were dead on it, weren't you? I mean, there you see the guys that have been eliminated, and obviously it's on to the Elite 10, and, you got a track like a short track like Martinsville, like I mentioned with Jeff Burke. Now you're going to, of course, Talladega in 2 weeks. Always the wild card, and it seems like, Brady, whoever's the chaos and the mayhem and the mastermind that creates these schedules, it just works out perfectly to make Talladega either be a wild card to make it somehow to make it to the next round for the playoffs, and this is for the championship for that matter. I think Martinsville will be fun. I think Talladega will be fun. Hey, listen, William Tiller, I hope he gets to feeling better. I know I'm just here as a fill-in for him. I know he's been fighting kidney stones all week. I normally work with him in the booth on Monday night, praying for him. And obviously, Brady, you look at Martinsville and Talladega coming up the final round in the Elite 10 to the Championship 6. I think it's a given that if you're at the top of the top 5 of the points, or at least the top 3, do what you need to do. Stay out of harm's way. Don't get in any trouble, and try to put yourself in the spot to be a champion like you did for the Monday Night Season 2 series for Nazareth.
Well, 3 key things, guys, that's coming to my mind right now. First off, Chris Cinnamon, Ashley Dodson, 2 big hitters in this series, knocked out, not going to the Elite 10. That's big. I really cannot stress that enough. Those 2 guys, you don't have to fight those guys for a championship. You are happy tonight if you're going to that Elite 10 round. And the points reset, everybody's at 2,000, even playing field. The round of 10, the Elite 10, Martinsville, Talladega. Martinsville is so important. You want to be locked in before you go to Talladega. You don't want to go to Talladega and have to win your way in to go to that Championship 6. And the last point, in years past, who's ever won that first race of the Elite 10 has not gone on to win the championship. So that's a couple of key notes that I want to bring up.
Yeah, those are some big notes there, Wesley, to digest. Maybe not a good thing to win next week in Martinsville, but it is nice to get that win and lock yourself into that Championship 6. We'll have to see how those all play out. But, I mean, just really, I want to comment on just how much of an amazing showcase this was of the talent and the concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series tonight here at Dover. Because these drivers were just on top of their game. Yeah, we had a couple trucks in the wall at some points, but no cautions, a few pit road speeding penalties, but that's going to happen when you have the most difficult pit road in all of NASCAR, in my opinion, and maybe in the opinion of a lot of others out there, to get on and off of without
Oh, yeah.
speeding. So just an impressive showing from all the drivers involved.
And what a clean race. I mean, you heard it from everybody. We were mentioning it several times throughout the broadcast in the Hoopties Garage 150 that, you would think you'd see calamity. You'd think you'd see trucks tore up. I really thought Dover was going to be a wreck fest whenever I got the itinerary yesterday preparing for it. And literally, that's just not the case. But, Brady, I'll also say in closing, and I give you your final thoughts as the man behind NASRA, as well as so many other people, TJ Moore, Dean Hopton, the producer. Man, I'm so excited to be working with Dean. I fell in love with the work that he did before I even came in on commentary. It's clear. You can just see all the work, the graphics, the things that goes behind what he's doing. There's dedication there, and I'm looking forward to being with him on Monday nights now, and, of course, a phenomenal Friday night producer, and, of course, what you do, Brady, with NASRA, and, of course, with Cody, and there's so many people that make this program, the North American Sim Racing Association, continue to set the bar as being one of the elites of sim racing on iRacing, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you for the kind words, Wesley. And I've got to give a big thanks to Dean, you, Wesley, Tyler. Tyler has a little bit of off time. He's on military time, so he has a little bit of downtime right now with the holidays, and then his schedule is going to ramp up. So he could be doing a million other things, but he wants to come and help us out here, and that's what it takes. It takes a village. I've got some great guys that just support my cause, support what I'm trying to do, and they all help out. I can't thank you guys enough. Yeah, big shout out to Dean. We love Dean. We're bringing him on Mondays. We're also going to be trying to get that Xfinity series, man. If you are watching tonight and you are interested to come to Nazareth, Tuesday nights, we're trying to get an Xfinity series going. I want to get it going. I think we have around 23, 24. I have to update the entry list. Drivers that's signing up. I know it's going to get more signups as we get closer to the season. You know how guys are. They all wait to the last minute. But if you're watching tonight and you could race on Tuesday night, join that Xfinity series.
Yes, for sure. And by the way, Tyler, I'll let you bring him home, buddy. Don't forget, Brady LaBeouf and myself will be in the broadcast on a special Sunday afternoon race this Sunday, December 3rd. It is, of course, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central, the 4th annual Lone Star Racing Toys for Tots charity race. It'll be on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, Texas Motor Speedway, 1.5 mile track, 125 laps fixed setup. Going to be a little formats that you got to follow, but man, it's going to be really, really fun. And do what you can this holiday season. I'm a bah humbug. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not in the Christmas spirit. We'll never get in the Christmas spirit till probably about 3 or 4 days to Christmas. But I do love charity, and I do love to do what we can to help out these kids. This race will be a race where kids can have the chance to have a toy for Christmas. That again will be the event, the Toys for Tots charity race. And Brady, I think this race is so big. I think somebody told me Monday night they're running 2 races now, one at 3 o'clock that we're doing, the other one at 7, because there's such a massive response of people that want to be a part of the 4th annual Lone Star Racing Toys for Tots charity race at Texas.
That's absolutely correct. And like you said earlier, we'll let Tyler bring us home, Tyler.
Yeah, well, again, I want to give a huge shout out to both you two gentlemen here in the booth with me, Brady LaBeouf and Wesley Outland, and then Dean Hopton, our amazing producer, as always. Again, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Please tune in for that special event this Sunday, 3 p.m. is the first race. I don't know if we'll be broadcasting the second one, but for sure we'll be here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network for the Toys for Tot Invitational this Sunday at 3 p.m. And then Monday night, we have the DSR Electric Truck Series week number 2, and we're going to Las Vegas, one of my favorite tracks. Unfortunately, I will not be there as I'm in the middle of a move, but tune in. That's going to be an amazing race, one of the best tracks in the NASRA racing family to watch. And again, a huge shout out to all the drivers tonight for putting on such a great show, a great performance at Dover International Speedway. And again, congrats to Phil Pappas, number 85 machine, getting the win in the Hoopties Garage 150 at Dover International Speedway. We'll see you guys on Sunday for the Toys for Tot Invitational, and then Monday night for DSR Electric Truck Series, and then next Friday night Martinsville Speedway here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series as we begin our Elite 10 drivers. And the first driver in that Elite 10 to win, maybe on next Friday night, he locks himself into the Championship 6 in 2 weeks' time. So a lot coming up here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Again, thank you all for tuning in, and we wish you all an amazing night.